All right. What's going on, everybody? John Karmazin here. Sid Graff, unfortunately, is not with us this evening on this particular call, but he sent his better looking, younger cohort here, Coach Carroll. Um, yeah, we're here tonight. The huge convention is 2 weeks away. It's crazy. 2 weeks.
Nuts, man.
Man, it goes fast. But we're here tonight with Coach Carroll, and he's feverishly sharing out this this live stream to his followers. And for anybody watching, drop some comments in. Let us know you're here.
Yeah, man. Let us know where you're from. Hit the chat and let us know where you're from. And even if you're watching this on replay, let us know where you're from.
Yep. Yeah, we want to know where you're at, and obviously, if you're coming to the huge, we want to hear that. I know I'm pumped. I can't believe it's only 2 weeks away, but it came up quick. But and it always goes by quick too. You know, you're there. There's so many people at these events, and you go in with an agenda. You're like, I know who I want to talk to. You try to find them. It's like a needle in a haystack sometimes, and sometimes you don't find them until the very last day, and you're exhausted. And you're like, crap, what did I want to ask you, right? Because you're just some guys are hungover, some are just tired. So maybe a little bit of both. So yeah, so man, we appreciate you coming on. How about give us a little bit of background on you, so anybody who's not familiar with you can learn a little bit more about you. And then I know you got a ton of really good things you're going to drop for us here tonight, so I'm excited.
Yeah, appreciate you, John. Thanks for having me on. And Sid, my feelings are hurt. No, I'm just joking, man. Hey guys, I appreciate you all tuning in with us this evening, and we've got the chat pulled up as well. We can see when you guys drop comments on here, so let's make it interactive. And super excited, man. We're 2 weeks away. I was at the huge last year on Podcast Row, so you guys may have seen me set up there. I was giving out a ton of my books, phenomenal phone calls, but we'll kind of give you a brief intro, and then I'll talk a little bit about my presentation that I'll be doing this year at the huge convention. Super excited, man. The huge, I remember when this thing was just a window cleaners event, like in a little bitty hotel in New Orleans. So some of you new cats are like, what? But the old heads like John and some of the other guys that have been in the industry for a while, they know me as Scrappy. So if you ever see a guy come up and call me Scrappy, that's from way back in the bulletin board days. Facebook completely obliterated all of those, those outlets. It's great for research. I would tell all the new guys, go check out the forums. There's still a treasure trove of knowledge that's just, dusty on the internet.
If you're willing to put in the work to search it. Yes, absolutely.
Use the search bar, man. I wish I had $1 every time that came up on the forums. But I started my business my senior year of high school. Started as a lawn and landscape business. Quickly added on other services, grew that to the lawn and landscape side to about $3 million in revenue, and sold it because I realized that the margins that I was making in lawn and landscape were peanuts compared to washing. And so made that switch. I've now done over $10 million in the exterior cleaning industry, as I kind of categorize it, power washing, window cleaning. It's pretty much a autopilot business for me now. I've done a ton of videos with Keith Kalfas about this, so I won't go on ad nauseum. If you guys ever want to go dig those out there on the internet, any hashtag Coach Carroll, you'll find a ton of content out there that I've created since 2009 was my first YouTube video. Don't worry, that one doesn't exist. It's still there, but it's hidden. Nobody gets to see that video anymore.
You gotta search deep for that one.
Yeah, I've been making content a long time, and it's just always been in my heart to help others. And I think that comes honestly from learning in the pressure washing business, John. Honestly, like the round tables that I used to go to, the mentors that I used to have, Mike Chrysley, Ken Finner, those guys that, I remember Ken getting on the phone with me at like 10 o'clock at night and talking to me about like customer acquisition costs and like breaking down how to know if that little ad in the newspaper I ran was worth doing again or not. Right. Like just the foundational building blocks of business. I learned in this business. And, I remember talking to Brandon Vaughn. We were, I believe it was like Fleet Wash Academy or something. This has been years ago. And he said, the pressure washer business was awesome because it was like the training wheels business. It was like, it's where you learn the foundational building blocks. It's where you learn things like I said, margin, right? That word, right? Like profit's not a dirty word, right? It's like you learn about making money, and it's so good because I'm actually, while I'm a very like motivated dude, and like obviously you guys can see my hashtag is hustle, it's worth it. I think that the pressure washing industry has such a unique spot in my heart because I understand that most people are not cut out to go run a 10, 50, $100 million a year operation. There is a level of IQ and EQ that has to be achieved to be able to get to that level, right? And I think there's a big disservice that's been done by the internet over the last like 10 years where everybody's like, go be an entrepreneur and like build this ginormous fucking business. And it's like, dude, that's really, really, really hard. Like probably one of the hardest things you could ever decide to do in your life. I fly airplanes. I love speaking on stages. Like two of the things that most Americans are afraid of to like would make them like tremble in their shoes. And it's like, and building a business is harder than that. And so, as I was building the lawn and landscape business, as I realized the margins just weren't great, we transitioned into exterior cleaning, and that's where I got my start, man. And we've done crazy projects. I've done everything from washing a lady's stoop that's 80 years old and I do it for free because she can't afford to pay us, to washing, tens of millions of dollars, stadiums that we've cleaned. So, and pretty much everything you can think of in between. Coach Carroll's crawled around in kitchen exhaust systems. If you can wash it, I've probably tried it at one time or another. I only washed 3 kitchen exhaust systems, and I was like, this is for a different breed of people, man. I didn't do that one very long, but the home service business as a whole, doing Christmas lights. I built a Christmas light business and then sold it. Doing snow removal. So like the huge convention, so near and dear to my heart because it's been one of the conventions that I just know changes a lot of lives. Guys come out of this. There are 3 big things that you get, I think, from going to a convention like the Huge. One, you get new knowledge, right? Because my favorite thing is in the world is you don't know what you don't know. So you have these aha moments because somebody asked a question that you didn't even know to ask that question, let alone know the answer, right? So you have these aha moments. So there's new knowledge. You get new mentors and coaches, right? And they're like, oh God, here he goes. He's going to sell his program. I'm not selling you anything. I'm saying you need a coach, you need a mentor, you need somebody that's been to the top of the mountain that you want to go to, whether that's the $100,000 a year mountain or that's the $100 million a year mountain. You got to go find a mentor and a coach because it cuts your learning curve down, it cuts your timeline down, and it will get you to where you want to go faster. And then lastly is community, man. You'll meet some of your best friends at these events. John and I have known each other for a really, really long time. The guys, if you guys go see like Pressure Tech's one of the Bob from Pressure Tech, dude, like I remember driving to Cleveland and like Bob was like, hey man, I got these like rusty old hose reels. I didn't have a hose reel when I started, John. Like I was like winding the hose up, put it on the trailer, right? And Bob's like, I got this like rusty old hose reel, got us upgraded. He left them here. He's like, $100, you can have them. You drive up here. So I like drove from Louisville, Kentucky up to Cleveland to save, a few $100 and like buying these old things. So like Michael Hindelighter, I've been at his house and went boating and wake surfing with him. So like, I just have like all these deep relationships. So it's always cool when I get to go to the convention, man, and meet those people and then ultimately speak and pour back into you all so that, let's face it, I want you guys to come out more motivated and making more money in the second half of the year than you did in the first half of the year.
Man, such good stuff. Such good stuff. And I think, it's funny you said training wheels business. We just had Brandon Lazar on right before you. And, he grew, scaled, sold his window cleaning company up in northern tundra of Canada. And now he's into helping people find VAs. He's got a performance pay system. He's coaching. Like he said the exact same thing. He's like, my home service company was my training wheels business. It's a training wheels business. So it's a common theme tonight. And it was completely like unrehearsed that you said that. So it was so cool. And man, I couldn't agree more with the 3 things that you get out of going to these events and conventions. And if you're leaving a convention with not having one of those three things, then you did it wrong. Like you
just came for the bars and stayed
That's right.
hungover and didn't go. And
That's
like,
right. Well, I
not
guess
that-
if you go to the bar, you might build some community. So maybe
you
that one
might build
happens
some
by accident.
community. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. But no, great stuff. Great stuff, man. And I mean, look, just in that first, 10 minutes there of this conversation, if you're not encouraged and if that doesn't light a fire under your butt to go to the huge, if you're not already planning to go, I don't know what else will get you there. So great job on pumping
Like,
that
if
up.
you're still, look, John, I'll give them a hard push. Oh, Coach Carroll's going to do a little close here. Listen, put it on a credit card. You got 6 to 12 months to pay. If you don't have a credit card, go get you one. You can get a Spark card. It'll be here before the time's up to buy the ticket. You might have to buy it at the door, but it's gonna your card will be here. You're gonna get 2% cash back, so you're already paying 98% of the ticket price, right? So there's a couple percent back to you, and then you'll have like a 6-month or a 12-month or 18-month promo period where it ain't even cost you any interest, and you can pay it back. It ain't that expensive, man.
And the return on your investment for that time.
You took the words out of my mouth, John. Yeah. The best ROI, and I've got real estate, I've got tech company, I've got like all the, and I don't say this to brag or boast. I'm just telling you, like, if a dyslexic kid from Kentucky can do it, you all can do it, right? I wore my shoes today, so you guys didn't know that I was from Kentucky. But listen, the huge convention will be a game changer for you. It will open up new opportunities for you, and you're going to be energized, man. I go to events. I spend thousands of dollars, John. I know you go to events and stuff, and you come back from these things like fired up and ready to go, baby. So if you guys haven't got your tickets yet, don't wait any longer. Just do it.
Yeah. Hey, just a reminder, drop some notes in the comments here. Let us know you're here. We want to say hi to you. We want to holler you out. So, Coach Carroll, talk a little bit about what you're going to be chatting about here in your presentation at the Huge.
Yeah, man. So what I'm most excited about, I'm going to make sure I save some time. I got about a 50-minute time slot. I'm going to save some time for Q&A because it's one of my favorite things to do. Most speakers won't do Q&A because they like a very well-rehearsed presentation. They want to just do that and get off the stage. I love doing Q&A. It's so much fun. And I think back to my point of like, you don't know what you don't know. When I allow people to ask questions that I can then answer, somebody else on the other side of the room was like, oh, I never even thought about to ask that. Right. So like it just fosters more innovation inside of the room. So we'll do a little Q&A at the end, but I'm actually teaching my social assisted selling presentation that I've done many times all across the country at all these conventions. But the cool thing is it's never the same presentation because if you guys are on social media, it changes. You guys know that. So we'll talk about some stuff that Kevin O'Leary taught me about socials. I'll be talking about why I think Elon bought Twitter and how that's favoring him. We'll be talking about the blueprint that you guys can use that gets me in front of over 1 million sets of eyeballs per year for free. That doesn't cost me $1. So I've got about 10,000 followers on Instagram, about 13,000 on Facebook, and I do a lot of networking online, right? Like you guys will see me on Keith Calvis's podcast, or you guys will see me on different events and co-working and networking with other people. I'll teach you guys my strategies behind that. But then ultimately, I want you to be able to walk away with like a marketing game plan when it comes to social media. And I'll also be talking a little bit about some of our really cool AI tech that we've built. We just launched our new platform, Allie, in the App Store a couple weeks ago. So she helps you with both outbound, internal, and inbound marketing on social. Pretty cool stuff, man. I'm in the space, John, and I still could not tell you where we will be with AI by the end of this decade. The speed at which it does, it's actually causing us a lot of problems, man. Like we'll be like, oh, cool, this would work. This would be really neat. And by the time we build it, it's like, well, yeah, but now the tech can actually do 3 things more than that. And it's like, oh shit, that's like, you got to go back and revamp it. But I'll be going through that whole presentation. And then I'll also be, what's up, Jonathan? Appreciate you, brother. I'll also be giving you guys a really cool bonus package with some additional trainings because 50 minutes, it ain't enough for Coach Carroll. So I'm gonna hook you guys up with some bonus trainings and whatnot if you create your Allie account with us from stage. So super excited, John. It's gonna be a fun time, man. Social is a game changer. I remember in 2016 when I started Carroll Media, which is my ad tech company. When I say ad tech, that's advertising technology. In 2016, I started it, and I had people that were telling me like social media is a fad, right? It's like, oh, it's not real. It's not going to be anything big. And it reminded me of all the plumbers that I knew in like 05, 06, 04 that were like, I don't need a website. That internet thing's a fad. Don't you remember that crash that just had a couple of years ago, right? And it's just so crazy, man, to see people that don't adapt. And I was actually on with Gary V a couple of months ago, and he said, I asked him, I was like, talk to the people, bro. Tell them how important it is. And he said, in 2024, I have no energy to tell them anymore. Like you're either gonna do it, or the 20-year-old kid that's just coming into the game is going to come in and they're going to take your lunch. So we'll be talking about all that, man. It's going to be it'll be a good session. It'll be interactive, and as you guys can tell, I'm a super low energy guy. So I'll try to keep you awake.
It's hard to stay awake with you right here. I'm telling you, man. No, I mean, look, I do want to chat a little bit about something you brought up with the speed of change, and you touched on it, with adapting and getting a website and social media and stuff like that. There's a lot of talk and chatter about AI right now. And particularly, like, people think either they should be using it to help leverage their business in some way, but they have no idea how. And I attune it to like figuring out how to properly run a Facebook ad. Because by the time you figure it out, it's changed. And then it's like, dang it, I got to start all over again. And it's just this constant vicious cycle. And I feel like it's 100x with AI right now at the speed that's going. So I know you said you don't have it all figured out by any means, but I know you're light years ahead of where most of us are in it. So maybe you speak to that a little bit, and maybe you can give a couple tips of like, simple tips that we could kind of leverage some of that in businesses.
Yeah. So if you guys aren't using ChatGPT right now, like that's first, it's like a $20 a month subscription, and it is essentially having a smart as hell assistant, essentially, like would be like level one. Like if people, and I get asked that a lot, John. It's like, that's not an unusual question. People are like, hey, how do I start with this? It's like, start there, because the thing is trained on everything on the internet. And the difference between generative AI and like what we've had, right? Because it's like, well, if I just ask it a question, can I just go do a Google search, right, and get the same thing? And now like Gemini is built inside of Google search, so it's like it kind of gives you a summary. The generative AI is the powerful piece. So what I would tell you guys is, like, if you're brainstorming, ChatGPT can help you with that. If you're analyzing, ChatGPT can help you with that, right? So like what you may want to do is like you could my bankers, I hope, aren't watching this. I just underwrote a $3.5 million car wash deal, and we were looking at the deal, trying to put it together, and they were like, we need a summary, a key summary over the investment tax. So I uploaded like 3 years worth of financials that these guys gave me on like old school spreadsheets. These weren't like PDFs, P&Ls that are real nice and easy to read. Like, it's awful. All the cells were the same size. You had to go in and open every single one of them up. It was awful. So I took it and I uploaded it to ChatGPT, and I was like, give me an executive summary on why this business would be good to invest in, so that I can copy and paste it into a document and hand it to my partners that I'm trying to get to invest. Right. So what happens a lot of times, people, they get lazy, they stop, right? They're like, hey, give me a summary about these. And then it's like gives you a generalized summary.
Right.
It's the prompting. It's how deep you can go with telling it what to do, and give it the reason of why, like, what's the reason I need this information? And it spit it out. It was fucking beautiful. And I'm dyslexic, so like I would have been way off tilt. Like, I love numbers. Like, numbers are easy, but when you start putting letters and stuff together, sentences and paragraphs, and like my syntax is all messed up and backwards, that is like step number one. And you guys, like, if you don't know what to post on social media, right? It's like, hey, write me 20 blog posts. I'm in this area, I'm in this town, and, these things are going on, or, this is what my service company does. Or here's another hack for you. Copy paste. If you have a decent website that's got a lot of copy, a lot of blog posts, copy paste your website to ChatGPT and say, hey, this is my website. I'm giving you this to analyze and reference in my next prompt. it'll go read your website and it'll be like, cool, I got you. I'm ready to go. And it does it like that. I mean, like it's in seconds, and it'll say, cool, I'm ready to go. What's your question? And you could say, cool, I need 5 blog posts for this week. Can you write those for me? And they'll write you a blog post. It's like, cool. Now give me a spin-off tweet, Instagram, and Facebook post that I can use to reference those. And now your marketing campaign is super easy. Like, go post a blog and then share the blog to the social media, copy and paste it, and it's done. It's the 10-80-10 rule. So you guys may have heard this. It's used in a lot of different industries, but it works in AI too. You've got to be the human on the front side of the 10%. So you've got to give it the prompt. You've got to give it the reference. It'll do 80% of the heavy lifting, and then you got to scrub it down with a toothbrush on the backside for another 10%. John, that's where I tell people to start. Now, if you want to mess with DALL-E, which is their generative creative, you want to use, like, we're using some other stuff, and we've developed some stuff ourselves. Like, we actually created some video ads for a Chevy dealership that were completely generated through AI in the wintertime. And like, my team made a fucking F-150 or a Chevy 1500 driving through the snow with like snow flying up. And it was all generative. Like it's insane, dude.
So
it's
wild.
So
yeah. The video stuff just blows my mind.
It's crazy. So, you know, and so those are some base level stuff that you guys can use. And, you know, again, we're using, like, for us from a more little advanced standpoint, like Allie, she's still in beta right now on this feature, probably be out by the end of the year. But Allie will essentially be able to switch into your Facebook profile, right? So, you know, EasyPro is my exterior cleaning business. She'll be able to switch into EasyPro. And then based on the pages that I've liked, right? So like, I got to spend a little time. This is that 10-80-10, right? The 10% of my time is going and finding local realtors, you know, local contractors, bakeries, tire shops, things like that are in my area. And I'm going to follow their page from my business page. And then I'm going to let Allie go. And Allie's going to come in once a week and leave comments on all of the posts from all of those pages. So now EasyPro is leaving a comment to a realtor that, like, hey, I just sold this house. Like, my Facebook page then comes in and leaves a thumbs up and says, hey, congratulations, great job, right? The weird part we're trying to figure out, John, is like, okay, well, like, if we do this for a business and then like that business owner is at the grocery store and that real estate agent comes up and is like, hey, thanks so much for commenting on my post. That was so nice. You were the only one that left a comment. It's like, does that person get weirded out, and how do they handle that? Or like, oh, that wouldn't mean that was our AI platform. Like, those are like some of the, like, I don't know how we're going to handle this, but we just keep stuff in beta probably a little longer than we should, but I don't want to release anything that's going to break something. But that's going to be a game changer, because essentially that's buying back your time as a business owner. It's doing outbound, which, you know, Facebook ads I consider inbound. You're putting out a marketing message and you're bringing them in. We'll talk about this in my presentation. Internal is like your current customer book, right? Your internal book of business. And then so inbound, internal, and then outbound. Outbound is going out and actually engaging in the marketplace and like making yourself show up. And so up until this point, there are very few, if any, tools that help you with outbound, right? You can hire, there's tons of ad agencies that will create ads for inbound. There's cool little tactics that I'm going to share in my presentation for, like, literally pennies. You guys can contact your current customers and save you a ton of time. So you have to come to my presentation for that. And then, you know, the outbound stuff is engaging. So it's super cool, man. We've grown EasyPro to, we've got probably close to 7,500 customers in our database now. And I haven't advertised in 4 years, which is crazy to be an advertising guy to be like, I don't advertise anymore. But it's like, we send out, you know, some direct mail. We do some ringless voicemails. We do, you know, email marketing. And this is the power of building a brand. This is what I try to teach people, right, John? It's like, if you build a brand, one day you don't have to do it anymore. Like, you can say, okay, I'm good. I'm good at this dollar amount or at this level, right? Like, you have to be careful saying that your goal is just to, like, keep growing a business forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. There's, like, I'm gonna piss some people off, but fuck it, I'll say it. The problem with a home service business is that is an old school business. And with old school business, you have certain rules you have to play by. You're geographically bound, meaning you're typically only serving a certain area. Depending on where you're at in the country, there is seasonality to it. And then most, not all, some like the fleet washers got it figured out, but like some of them have it figured out, but most of them don't have monthly recurring revenue. So literally every time the calendar flips to another month, it's like back to zero. We got to go chasing again, right? And so like those were the three things that I saw in my home service business. I was like, okay, that's why I'm going to go build this tech company over here. But that's not to say that you shouldn't be in the home service business. Like I didn't sell mine. Like I'm still here because the margins are nasty. Like they're borderline criminal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool, man. Like when you can have a guy go watch a house for $1,300 and he's in and out in a couple of hours. Like, okay, that's a good business to be in. I got attorney friends that are like, you made how much an hour? You I went to law school for 8 hours. I still got a quarter. What? All this student debt, and you made how much an hour? You know, it's like, you just got to come home smelling like a little bleach or something at the end.
Well, and you know what? The margins are even better when you get your marketing dialed in and you're not spending tons and tons and bucket loads and wheelbarrows full of money on market that's not performing, because you know what you're doing. You built a solid brand and all the things. You're utilizing your existing customer base and increasing your frequency with them and all the good things that it sounds like you've done, and you're going to share the little nuggets to in your presentation. Yeah. So
and John, that ain't just me, bro. Like I appreciate that, but like that's you go meet any successful business owner.
Right.
They know the lifetime value of their customer. They know their customer acquisition cost. Like they know what channels are working for them and what aren't working for them, right? And so like if you're watching this video and you're like, dude, this guy's talking way over my head, cool. That just means you're like at the beginning of your journey, man. You just got a lot to learn. But the best thing about that is the knowledge is out there.
Yes.
Jim Rohn used to say they put all the good things on the top shelf, right? And you get to that top shelf based on the number of books that you've read. You stand on the number of books that you've read, right? Mm-hmm. And so the cool thing about that is that, you guys can figure out, there's not like an unknown. And that's why I said the coaches are so important. And coaching could be one-on-one. It could be seminars. It could be a book. Or you can go watch a free YouTube video, right? Like there's all different levels of Coach Carroll. There's all different levels of, all the other coaches that are out there. And there'll be a ton of them at the huge. Like biggest thing is just finding somebody that you vibe with. You're like, hey man, I like that guy. I think I could really hang with him. Like that's my style. And I know I'm not for everybody, and most coaches aren't for everybody, but they have a specific niche. And once you figure out, business actually isn't that hard. I wish somebody would have taught me that in the beginning, right? Like it would have been really cool if someone would have been like, hey man, don't get discouraged. Like you got these levels you're going to have to go through. Let me just zoom out to 30,000 feet. You got these levels you're going to have to go through. These problems are going to happen. You'll learn, you'll get over them. Just don't give up. The thing I love about business, John, is that you can't lose if you don't give up. Right. There's no clock. Like, in football, which, hey, football season starting this weekend. I can't wait, man. But it's like, football, you only got 4 quarters to play. And at the end, when the horn sounds, like whatever the score is, you either win or you lose. In business, bro, you get to come back next year and be like, hey, don't worry about it. We'll get them next season, right? Like you get to play until you're 80. That's what I love about this stuff.
Yeah. Erica chimed in. Yep. She said, we do make business more complicated than it should be. And you know what? I was going to jokingly say, but it's actually pretty true, that I think, especially in the home service space where it's a lot of like blue collar, work with your hands type of people that are technicians that start you start the business as a technician.
Yep.
Is we know the thing, right? We know how to fix the thing or clean the thing or do the thing. And the business side of it is like kind of scary, but we just kind of go along with it and figure it out as we go. And but that's the key difference. And you said it earlier about businesses that actually grow beyond themselves, the owner operator and stuff. They figure that out and they lean into those things and they figure out the numbers and their lifetime value and all those things. And it's not that hard. You don't need a Harvard MBA to figure this out.
Right.
It's super easy. It's just, you need to take the time and you need to have that mentor that says, hey, don't worry about what, nozzle you need to use in your pressure washer, or what squeegee rubber to use. Do this simple calculation over here that says, hey, this is how much you should be spending on your marketing, and know whether or not it's working. So
yeah. I had a friend that used to, if I'd go off on a tangent, he'd be like, I got two dead goldfish. I'm like, 2 dead goldfish. And he'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about shit that didn't matter. And that's the small business owner in the beginning, is they focus on shit that doesn't matter.
That's right.
it like, well, that little bitty black spot up there that my technician left on that gutter, I guess I'm gonna have to fire him, go back in the field. It's like, oh, really? Did the homeowner call back? Did they see that? No, they didn't see that. You seen it, Inspector Gadget up there with your magnifying glass, like, you know.
Yeah.
What's up, Jamie? What's up, Justin? Justin came to Ignite, an event that I threw a couple years back, man. And man, talk about transformational. That dude, he was just getting started. And this is, I'll just go. I think I'll tell you, this is the power of getting around mentors and getting in a room that'll light you up. I mean, that guy has just been a fucking buzzsaw since then, man. I've been watching him, and that's like the most fulfilling thing for me, John, is like getting to like go coach somebody, even if it's from stage or one-on-one or whatever. Like, and I haven't talked to Justin much. Like after Ignite, bro, he was gone. He was just after it. And it's been so fun to watch over the years. Like someone will watch my presentation and I'll get a random text message like, yo, bro, I used that one thing you taught us. And like, I just closed a $20,000 account. And I'm like, that makes me, this is weird. This is why I'm messed up in the head. That makes me I'm more excited for that guy to win a $20,000 account than I am to go win a $20,000 account. Like it's just,
yeah. To see the transformation in somebody else when they take action on something that you shared with them, that's one of the most rewarding things I think I've ever experienced. And it's crazy, man. It's so awesome. Yeah.
I'm no theologian, but the good book says, build the kingdom, right? And I think that's what happens is when you help other people be able to go do good things, that's the highest level of reward that you can get, because it's something that's not of this world.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
Yeah, no, that ain't me. That's somebody else's job. But I happen to have some good mentors in my corner that's taught me a thing or two about that good book. So, but no, this is cool, man. I appreciate you guys. And again, if you guys are just tuning in, let us know where you're from. I know we got people in here with the comments. If you guys have questions, happy to take any questions that we have. John, I don't know how long we're going to go on this thing.
Yeah, we got about another 10 minutes. So if we got a few more, if anybody in here's got some specific questions, we'll pop them up there and hit you up with them. Since we're talking home service, we're in the month of August right now. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a rough month for some people. And I mean, look, it's a rough year for some people. Like things have been weird. It's slow. It's an election year. You've heard all the things, right? But there's a term I've heard thrown around, the summer doldrums, right? So what piece of advice could you give to the people out there that could help them kind of get over this like summer hump, and like just they're feeling down, they're feeling kind of like, is this working? Like, you're really good at marketing, you're great at motivating. Like, let's give the people something tonight that they could hopefully light a fire and give them some encouragement.
Yeah, man. No, so a couple things I'll touch on there. That's great topic to touch on. The S&P 500 and the Dow, historically worst months are August and September. Most big money guys, PE firms, venture capital, they vacation in August. Most home service businesses are slowest in August. It ain't just you, man. If you're slow right now, it ain't just you. If the phone's not ringing, it ain't just you. Okay. This is just how it works. I don't know. Right. But Jim Rohn used to say some people pick the fruits while other people study the roots. I don't try to figure out why August is a slow month. I can just tell you in my tech business, August is a slow month. In my washing business, August is a slow month. In the lawn care business, everything's torched in Kentucky. It's a slow month for those guys too. Like, you got customers going, Billy, just skip it this week. It's like, oh shit, that ain't in the budget. Right. Like, it's okay. I'll give you the word of advice from my high school football coach. He said, sell with an even keel. And when I say sell, don't mistake my Kentucky dialect. I try to limit it as much as possible. But sail, like a sailboat in the ocean, right? We're going somewhere on a boat, water. All right, we're all together now. Sell with an even keel. What that means is when the waves go up, you don't adjust. And when the waves come down, you don't adjust. You just hold an even keel and just ride the waves, man. Ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. Don't get emotional. I'm going to tell you the best thing that you can do, and I don't care if you're a home service business or anything, as a professional, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, the best thing you can do is raise your level of emotional intelligence. And I'm not talking about working with your team members and all of that. That's one piece of it. I'm talking about right here. I'm talking about internally. like knowing when to sit down and take a deep breath and chill the fuck out, right? Like some of you guys get so upset because you have a bad month and you're like, I want to burn it all to the ground and sell it all, right? And then next month you make 20 grand net profit and you're like, I'm taking the family to Disney World. And it's like, you know, a lot of the people that are stressed out, they cause it themselves, John. They cause it themselves. And you can't do that. You have to sell with an even kill. There's going to be good. There's going to be bad. And listen, you got to take the, you know, back to the good book, man. It talks about the ant. The ant doesn't have to be told to go find the food. Every morning it wakes up and it goes and finds the food and it stores the food away because it knows winter's coming. And all summer long, he thinks winter's coming, winter's coming, winter's coming. And so I think some of us have really good springs. And then it's like, oh, yeah. Woo! We're popping off. We're showing out. Oh, got the new coat. Oh, look, I ain't got the, you know, you guys can't see. You'll see when I'm going to bring the same jacket to Nashville with me. This is my newest one, custom by my man Jordan. Got my little signature on the inside. You guys will be popping out with money. And then it's like, oh, but there's August right around the corner. And now, like, now what are we going to do? Now I'm selling my, like, listen, after the pandemic, you know, we 3 years out, I've been seeing a lot of Gucci belts for sale in the Facebook marketplace. I'll tell you that much right now, John. There've been a lot of Rolexes for sale on the Facebook marketplace, but you can't get too down on yourself. You got to increase your emotional intelligence. You got to understand that you got to ride the waves. There's going to be ups and downs no matter what business you're in. And I want to touch on one other thing, because we talked about like business isn't that hard. Business isn't that hard, and I think sometimes people get stressed out like in down months because they don't really know what they want out of their business. They don't really know why they're playing the game, right? I'll tell you, I started playing the game because I turned out 8 football scholarships to go be a chemical engineer, and I said, I'm going to show them teaching ladies that said I'd be nothing as an entrepreneur. I should just go get a degree, right? That's why I started. That ain't why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. That's not why I'm Coach Carroll. That's not why I'm on here at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. I'm trying to light somebody up. I'm trying to change a life or two. You have to understand why you're doing what you're doing, okay? Listen to me right now. You got to understand why you're doing what you're doing. What's the end game? And I will tell you right now, the best end game you can have is to be happy. Be happy, man. And for some of you all, you need to realize, like, get Grant Cardone out of your ears telling you if you make $400,000 a year, you're broke. Like, no, you're not. Like, you can't drive a Bugatti and live in a high rise in Miami on $400,000 a year. But let me tell you, you can live a pretty good life in most of America for $400,000 a year. Like, your wife probably ain't even working if you're making $400,000 a year. That's why I tell people, and like a lot of the guys in the industry don't like when I say this, but I'm like, the best hustle in the pressure washing business for most people, like the 80%, not the 20, like there's some that can go out. I mean, John, you're a great example of this. There's lots of guys that have like scaled businesses. Brandon did it. Like, you guys see the ones that are like, oh my gosh, look at this. The people they don't put on, the people that don't get the roses, the people that don't get the medals is the dude that's like a solo op that makes 150 G's take home and works 7 months out of the year and has a happy wife and never misses a ball game and never misses his daughter's recitals. Like, that's the dude that should be getting the fucking roses, in my opinion, right? And so I think it gets lost sometimes on being happy, and you just start chasing this like made up number, right? This gross sales number of like, I got to do $1 million. It's like, let me tell you, John can tell you too. The year you break $1 million, they don't roll out a red carpet and have a parade down your road.
Nothing changes.
Nothing. And if you do 998 or you do $1.2 million, it's the same. It don't matter. Like, it's so I think that's the big thing, man. You gotta start. Hopefully that'll help some people if they're in a rough spot right now. And then the other big thing, dude, if you're in a rough spot, get out of the spot. If you ain't got no jobs and all you do is you just get up and mope around all day, you got to get to Nashville. You got to come to the huge convention, man. Get around people that are going to love on you, lift you up, motivate you, encourage you, give you some new education, give you some knowledge, bust down some of them self-beliefs that you've been telling yourself for years. That's what's really holding you back. You think you don't deserve $300 an hour, so you want to knock everybody that says they make $300 an hour, right? You got to stop. I love that.
That last comment.
Me. I'm getting hot in here. I'm getting
so good. It's just, you just get warmed up, brother. The last thing you said, though, it reminds me of a saying, is that if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Yeah.
So if you're stuck in a rut right now, if you're feeling beat up, you're feeling down, something's got to change. And if you don't do nothing, well, of course, nothing different's going to happen. So,
Yeah,
man, dropping so many bombs here. Justin says, Ignite was epic. Thanks, brother. The main quote, hustle, it's worth it.
That's right, man. Hustle, it's worth it. That's my mantra. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, the hustle. Listen, hustle is worth it. Ain't nothing come from laziness, right? Like, you know, gotta provide everything, but he don't put the worms in the nest for the birds. The birds still got to get out of the nest and go find them. So you got to do a little hustling. So
Jamie says, see y'all at the huge. So
let's go, awesome. Jamie.
All right, brother. Well, hey, I really appreciate you being on, man. You dropped so much value for these people that are on. And like, I think, man, it's 8 o'clock at night. I should be like winding down here, but I'm fired up. Like,
let's go.
I love this.
You an extra million by the end of the year, baby. I believe in you.
Let's do this. Let's make it happen. So
that's it. It's it.
Yeah, we're definitely there, especially with the Christmas lights on tap. So
let's go. Let's go. That Christmas lights, baby. I tell you what, man, that business is crazy. People have mold all over the side of their house. I can't spend $500. $3,000 for Christmas lights, no problem. Like, it's just,
with a smile on their face.
Cool, John. Well, I appreciate it, guys. If you want to follow me anywhere, hashtag Coach Carroll. We just dropped a slurry of podcasts as well. You can go to coachcarroll.com/podcast. Check those out. Everybody from lawn care guys to dudes that are running $50 million insurance agencies. So I'm just out here, man, trying to help the world, help motivate people, and help them put a little more coin in their pocket and walk with their chin a little higher.
Love it, Coach. What do you know? What day and time you're speaking?
I believe Friday afternoon. So I requested a non-morning spot because I know you guys will be in Nashville. Yeah, listen to what Morgan Wallen said. Leaving Broadway girls alone. He's trying to warn you. I'm a fellow Southerner here.
Well, here's somebody who's been there before. He knows. He knows what happens. So
that's right. So yeah, no, we'll be on, man, and it'll be a good time. And like I said, I always bring some bonuses. I'm gonna see. I think we got a shipment of books coming in, so I may be giving out a free copy of my book to everybody that's in the seminar too. So if they make it in time, we'll hook everybody up with that.
Awesome. Well, hey, brother, I appreciate your time tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing you again in person. Hopefully we can chat for more than like 40 seconds like normal. But this was great tonight. This was awesome. I had a lot of fun.
Sounds good, John. Appreciate you guys, and appreciate everybody that tuned in and watched on the replay.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. See ya.